This video is going to be covering our lab safety poster that we're working on in class tomorrow. So our essential question that we're looking at is what lab safety rules must be followed in class at all times. That's our overall essential question, and we talked about those in class yesterday. And we have a list of rules here that we're going to go over now. For the sake of saving time, we're going to go over these rules in class a little later. But what I want to really talk about is the lab safety poster right now, and what I'm asking you to do and how to get an A on it. So what's going to happen is I'm going to put you in groups of 2 or in pairs, and in those pairs you're going to be assigned randomly one of these 19 lab safety rules. Now this is a little bit more detailed than the 10 rules you have in your safety contract, but I kind of got a little bit more granular with this just to kind of give us a more variety, and plus I wanted to make sure that I was pretty finite about some of these rules so you understood them. Now our lab poster I'm going to provide you the poster in class, and it has a rubric. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and go over this rubric real quickly with you. So when you get a piece of paper, I want your name and your partner's name on the top, and I want you to write down the rule that I assigned you, and it's just at random. Now here are the basic directions about talking about, it's in class, it's going to count as a quiz grade, and you'll be taking a poster representing an assigned lab rule, and your group or the pair of you should have a visually eye-catching, neat, and should include a catchy and creative title and picture. In other words, do not copy your rule from the paper word for word. Now let's take a look at the rubric a little bit more in detail here. So this is the rubric, and there's 4 categories: visual communication and rules, written communication and rules, visual appeal of poster, and use of class time. I'm going to go over the ones that are going to get you the 4 points so you can get that total of 16 out of 16 and get an A on this. You can pause this video and read over these other ones, but for the sake of time, let's just focus on what it is you really have to do to make sure you get the A, not what you failed to do. So, visual communication rule. It represents the assigned lab rule given and makes it easy to understand without using words. So, you have a rule, you have some visual that shows whatever that rule represents. So, if there's a danger like cutting yourself and a cutting hazard, you have some visual that someone could look at and see that and understand that there is a hazard of a sharp object potentially going to cut them. And you've got to understand that these lab safety posters, and any kind of safety poster, there's kind of an international system they use for these where they pick imagery that, regardless of what your native language is, if you look at that image, you can figure it out real quickly. One of the chemical burn images for it is there's a hand, and there's little chemicals pouring out of a beaker, and the fingers here are melted away, like it's been erased, showing that this chemical is eating away. It's a chemical burn hazard, and that's an image it's very blatant, easy to understand, regardless of where you're coming from. And that's what I want you to make an imagery. I want you to make an image that anybody looking at this, regardless of their language, is going to be able to understand what you're getting at. Now, written communication rules. So the title is written in a large font and can be read. So there's a title in large font and can be read from a few steps away. So it's easy to read. You don't want something that has to be right on top of fine-tooth comb. You want to be able far away, you got it. And you want to have a creative title that's original. This is the fun part. You can make it catchy and make it fun, but be creative with it. Then visual appeal of the poster. The poster is eye-catching in design, layout, and neatness, creative use of materials. It's neat, and it has some pop to it. Obviously you need to get some color on there, lots of color. And it's just a good design. You're going to get 100% on that particular area. Just make sure that it's neat, you have a nice finished product in the end. You've used lots of color and made it noticeable. Use of class time. This is the easiest one. As long as you're on task, you're getting the work done, and you're done in the 2-day period that I'm giving you in class, and you're staying on task, you're not running around and goofing and talking, you're good to go on this one. Now, that is the rubric. You can pause this video and look over it and read it in detail if you want, which I might suggest look at the things you shouldn't do. In class, when we get in class, we'll talk about the actual rules. We'll go through those. I'll assign them, and then you're good to go. I know the video is a little bit longer, but sometimes it happens. I'll see you in class, and take care.